Hello? That's not better. Can you hear me even those right at the back? Can you hear me back there? You can? Okay, then probably the rest of you can hear me as well. I have a confession to make. When I just walked down these stairs, I suddenly realised I find this quite daunting. I suddenly became quite nervous. It's not just because all of you are here, it's quite a big group. And I suddenly realised I stand here to welcome you all, but also to welcome the man who just written a book about how to give the perfect presentation. So that made it quite nerve-wracking, particularly standing on this red spot. And I have to do all that in just 2 or 3 minutes, rather than the usual 18 minutes, which is allocated for a true TED Talk. So we're going to listen here today to the man who acquired the TED concept back in 2002 and made it into what it is today. A catalyst for what I understand are 8 TED events happening every day, which equates to 3,000 events a year. And many, many more ideas worth spreading. I think there's about 60,000 TED Talks now, and since 2006, we can watch many of those, as you know, online. I think there's been about 1 billion views on TED.com, and the best watched talk by Sir Ken Robinson has 39 million views. And I can tell you since last night, it has 39 million and 1 views. I thought it was a fantastic talk. So how can I do justice to a man who created that within 2 to 3 minutes, which I've been allocated? That is impossible. And my name is Jeroen Ouwehand. I'm the managing partner of Clifford Chance here in Amsterdam. And allow me to welcome you all, TED sponsors and supporters and aficionados, and of course, let me welcome Chris Anderson, the man I've been talking about. Let me also welcome his publishers, Maven. Let me say that we at Clifford Chance are very proud to be your hosts here today. And let me welcome in particular also Jim Thulzer, who will be your master of ceremonies here this evening. And Jim, everyone knows, as sort of the lead man for TEDx in Amsterdam. And Jim, I admit, your TEDx event this year was my first live TED event. I've watched many of the talks online, and I thought it was absolutely fabulous and fascinating. And if any of the TED events is only half as good as yours, you can sign me up anytime. It was great. I think all of us probably have our favourite TED Talks, whether it's indeed Sir Ken Robinson talking about how schools basically kill creativity, or Bill Gates talking about malaria, or, and I believe that's one of your favourites, Jim, Benjamin Sanders talking about the transformative power of classical music. For me, if I think about the live talks at least, it was this year's Damien Denise or Damien Dinesh talking about how to live without fear. It's about taking risks. And as a managing partner of this office, it's a theme which I very much try to ascribe by. I was reading in the newspapers all around Chris being in the country, I was reading that the TED events are sometimes called the Davos Summit for Perennial Optimists. And I understand it was meant as a cynical comment by those who are maybe less supportive or less inspired. But I actually think it is a fantastic compliment, because to me, TED is indeed a platform for optimism. It is a place for ideas of people who look for opportunities in problems rather than the other way around. And it is a platform for human inspiration. And it's for that reason that we at Clifford Chance are very, very proud to play, even if it is a very modest role, in supporting TED and for being your host today. And with that, I've used my allotted 2 minutes. And I would like to hand over to Jim and wish you a fantastic evening. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much. Great. All right. Thank you. Thank you for great welcoming words, and also thank you for your hospitality to welcome us in this magnificent office, I might say, and also thank you for your support at Clifford Chance for TEDxAms Maven for being such a loyal sponsor for all those years. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of TEDxAms Maven, I welcome you also to this party event. We have quite a group of people here. It's just like TEDx, we like to curate our audience. So half of you have been curated by TEDx, the other half has been curated by Sander from Maven Publishing. I will ask him on stage in a few minutes to say some welcoming words. And I think, Jeroen, you did a great job by welcoming the man of the hour, or perhaps the man of the 18 minutes, of course. Chris, let me say some welcoming words to the other guest of honor, Jacqueline Overbridge. A big round of applause. Thank you for being with us. I'm sure many of us, we know you from your incredible work at the Occupant Fund, but there's another thing. I mean, having a husband that wants to write a book, that is a thing, I know from personal experience, that puts pressure on every relationship. And not only did he write it, but it got published. And now he's on a book tour, so you have to share it with the whole world. So I think it's very clever that you combine that trip with a weekend in Amsterdam. So warm welcome to you as well. Today is pretty simple. We have some news to tell. Monique from Düsseldorf, my wonderful colleague at the TEDxAms Maven team, will share 2 surprises with you later on the day. Of course, we're going to listen to a short presentation by Chris about his new book, the TED Method, the public guide to public speaking. But first, I'd like to ask for a big round of applause for Sander Maven, the publisher of this brilliant book.
Thank you, Jim. I just wanted to take a brief moment to welcome you all. And of course to welcome Chris and Jacqueline. We're very glad that you're here. I think the first thing that happened when we were trying to convince Chris's agent to give the Dutch rights of the book to a very small and independent publishing house was he said, well, okay, you convinced me, you got it, but he's not coming to the Netherlands. And so we said, okay, that's okay, we're really happy that you gave it to us. And so then about 6 months later, we said, well, you can always ask. And there you are. So we're very, very happy. I think Chris responded within 6 hours and said, yeah, sure, I'll come. So that's great. I think we are, like I said, a small independent publishing house. I see a lot of friendly faces of the Maven community, and so I'm very happy to see you guys here. And for us, this is a big moment because I think some of the most interesting authors that we've published before, so we've been in existence for 6 years now, have been TED talkers. Some of the famous TED Talks, Kevin Kelly, Dan Ariely, Catherine Schultz, Mary Roach. And then at some point we had the occasion to also publish the man who turned TED into what it is right now, and also who I think changed publishing. He has, I think that TED has had a major influence on media in general, but also has sometimes made the lives of publishers quite difficult because it's such a great, innovative new way to share ideas. We're also in the idea sharing business. And I think you've inspired us to be better publishers and to be more innovative and more creative in how to think about books. And I think I wanted to thank you for that. As a publisher, I'm holding a book. You can recognize me by the book. Like Jim is holding a clipboard. But this book is actually the first book that came off the printing press. It's completely the same like all the others. Only it was the first, and I wanted to take a moment to thank you, Chris, and to give you the first book, and to really, really thank you for coming to the Netherlands and sharing. I'm going to give the word back to Jim.
Yeah, right? Excellent. I'm just checking with the photographers if they got this very spontaneous moment. You got it? Excellent. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sander, we're going to take a short break, like 10 minutes. You can mingle, you can talk, and then I'll come back on stage to introduce Chris Anderson. So we're going to go back for like 10 minutes. Enjoy the break.